What's up, Taiwan? I'm Philip Brossard with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. The U.S. midterm elections have ended, but votes are still being counted in several states. While the world waits for the results, speculation is rife over how U.S. attitudes may change toward Taiwan. In Taipei, a panel of experts assembled earlier this week to discuss what may or may not change for U.S.-Taiwan relations once the midterm results are in. Bing Wong reports.
The voters have been and gone, but the ballot count continues. Days after the U.S. midterm elections, the politically polarized nation continues to await some hotly contested outcomes. In swing states such as Arizona and Nevada, the vote has come down to the wire. The final count is not expected to be tallied before the weekend and could continue into next week. In Taiwan, people are wondering what the midterm results could mean for matters closer to home. The country has maintained a common presence on the U.S. foreign policy map. This has become even more pronounced in recent years, due in part to China's increasing military aggression and its claims over Taiwan's sovereignty. The past year has also seen several high-profile political delegates from the U.S. visiting Taiwan to strengthen the two countries' ties. On Thursday, a panel of experts met in Taipei to discuss how the U.S. midterm results might affect American attitudes towards Taiwan and China. Their consensus that Washington's approach to the two nations will remain largely unchanged, regardless of the election outcome.
不过我本来就不认为说拜登政府他在对中立场上有比较 soft 一点，有比较示弱一点哦，所以我觉得是维持原来美国对中国的这样一个戒心跟态度这样。那对于台美关系的话，我觉得基本上也不会有太大的变化。
The panel did speculate that some milder changes could still happen. They said that political decision-making might be slowed if the opposition Republican Party took over the House of Representatives, the lower chamber of the U.S. legislature. They also cautioned that issues relating to China remain volatile, and if decision-making is slowed, it could disadvantage both the U.S. and Taiwan.
首先会造成这个美国的决策系统、行政部门跟立法部门会意见一定会相左嘛。那相左的话，当然这个决策速度会相对慢，对。那决策速度相对慢，因为行政立法相互制衡。
Democrats and Republicans remain heavily divided on domestic issues, such as abortion, inflation, and gun control. But one thing they appear to agree on is the U.S. maintaining close relations with Taiwan. Experts say this is unlikely to change anytime soon.
就台湾在不管安全、在战略上、在科技跟经贸上，对美国的重要性越来越高。对，所以我相信说共和党掌握众院多数之后，他们的态度对台湾的自由贸易签署自由贸易协定的态度也会越来越现实了。
The U.S. and Taiwan continue to build ties, both diplomatically and economically. The nations just concluded 2 days of trade talks under a new initiative. And with more talks scheduled, it seems regardless of the final outcome of the U.S. midterms, ties with Taiwan are secure. Ricky and Bing Wong for TaiwanPlus.
The White House says it will brief Taiwan on the results of U.S. President Joe Biden's meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Biden and Xi will meet on Monday for their first in-person talks since Biden became president in 2021. On Wednesday, the U.S. president said he wants both sides to lay out their critical national interests and find ways to resolve disagreements. Biden says he's sure he and Xi will discuss Taiwan.
Good afternoon.
If you've never seen a Taiwanese election before, you're in for a surprise. Sure, you'll see campaign rallies, speeches, and banners just like anywhere else, but there are some features that are uniquely made in Taiwan. John Van Trieste has more.
Trucks ply the streets of the southern city of Kaohsiung, playing music and messages over a loudspeaker. You could be forgiven for thinking they're selling something, because, in a way, they are. It's election season in Taiwan, and this is how parties promote their candidates and get their ideas across. Another thing that makes these elections especially Taiwanese is that many voters have to travel across the country to cast their ballots. Taiwan politics scholar Karis Templeman explains why you have to vote in the place where your household is registered.
That's a very old system that goes back to the Japanese colonial era, and it's a holdover until the present. Until you create a new household by moving out of your parents' house, and if you do that, you potentially there are some tax consequences that come with that. And so that means that a lot of kids who go off to college, a lot of young people who are perhaps renting in one city far from where their family is, are disincentivized to register their household at that new location.
So that's why many people have to travel for Election Day. But the good news, it also means everyone is automatically registered to vote. But what if you live overseas? Does Taiwan have absentee ballots? Unfortunately, no.
There's a couple reasons why Taiwan hasn't changed this. One is there are, in fact, the biggest single issue is there are a ton of overseas voters in mainland China. And you can imagine the kind of controversy it might cause if a bunch of absentee ballots came in the mail to Taiwan after the election and changed the results of an election.
Another uniquely Taiwanese rule, in the last 10 days before the election, there's a ban on new opinion polls, or even talking about polling. And on Election Day, the candidates, even sitting presidents, have to watch what they say, as further campaigning is now banned.
In fact, there's an infamous case from 2012 where Ma Ying-jeou was running for re-election. He posted on his Facebook, his personal Facebook page, a reminder to tell people to go out and vote for the KMT. And that violated the CEC rule about campaigning on Election Day. And so the Ma campaign had to pay a large fine to the CEC because of that. So they do take that one very, very seriously.
Now, Taiwan may be known as a high-tech country, but when it comes to counting the ballots, it's very much what you might call old school. Karis Templeman says old-fashioned paper ballots help cut down on contested elections.
The vote count in Taiwan is also really distinct because it's done at the polling place. It's done right after the polls close. There's usually a period of about 5 minutes where they rearrange things. And then it's done in full view of anybody who wants to watch. So the same people who oversaw the voting process then pull out the ballots one by one from the ballot box and record those in full sight of everyone.
As you watch the results roll in on election night, look out for another special feature, the victory sign. It's not only to show which candidate has won, it's also become a symbol of Taiwan's young but enduring democracy. Patrick Chen and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
8 people have been found guilty of crimes ranging from negligent homicide to illegal procurement over the Taroko express train crash that killed 49 people in eastern Taiwan last year. The heaviest punishment was handed down by the Hualien District Court to Taiwan Railways Administration worker Pan Tang-yi, who was sentenced to almost 9 years in prison for negligent homicide and forging documents. The Taroko crash was Taiwan's deadliest rail accident in 70 years. It happened after a truck rolled onto the track from a nearby construction site contracted by Taiwan's state-run Railways Administration. The investigation into the accident raised serious questions over safety oversight on the country's railways. U.S. basketball star Dwight Howard arrived on Thursday night for the start of his career in Taiwan. The NBA veteran was greeted by hundreds of fans, coaches, and players from his new team, the Taoyuan Leopards. The top division team recruited Howard after the LA Lakers didn't re-sign him for the new NBA season. He'll be on court for the first time next Saturday, November 19th, to play against the New Taipei DEAs. The 60,000 tickets for his first 4 games sold out within 10 minutes. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Finally today, we leave you with images of the FIFA Women's World Cup mascot taking to the field. I'm Philip Brossard. Take care and see you next time.